We got it? Test. Can you hear me?
I got it. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you see me and hear me good?
Yes, I
Perfect.
can actually.
Mr. Eddy Leal, how are you?
I am doing well, sir. How are you? I'm in
Very
the
good.
field.
I know you're on the field. I know you're on the field. I think that you're doing an amazing job at getting the people aware what's happening, the terrible condition that District 2 is, and the fact that you are one of the few people that are um, with the desire to clean house in City Hall. It makes me make the time for you to support you. You know, I support you publicly on my Instagram about a month and a half ago. But you
You're
need
breaking up there for a
help.
moment. You're breaking up.
Okay, how about now?
Ephraim?
Sí, dime. Can you hear me?
Better now. I can
Okay.
hear you now. You're back live.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna start all over. Okay, so Mr. Eddy Leal, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm here in the field, door knocking in the Grove.
Perfect. Well, today is the voter registration day. So it's a very special day for everybody that wants to vote and make a change, not only in our district, but in Miami-Dade County.
The only way that you are able to see the government that you want is by, in fact, registering and voting. Early voting, absentee ballot, or the day of the election is critical. Exercising your right to vote is critical to see the change that you want.
Right. Amen for that. So, Eddy, there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about. First of all, when I decided to get behind you and support you, is because out of the so many people that I met that they are running for District 2, you are the only person that I know is going to do a good job, that doesn't have a criminal record, that is willing and able to put his knowledge as a lawyer, as a great entrepreneur into good work for City Hall and for District 2. I know you're knocking on doors. I know you're on the field, but I want you to tell my network how crucial is for you to be elected to District 2 as a commissioner. And then I will give my opinion about what's happening, what is the mess that we have here in District 2. But I want you to tell my network, why are you running?
Look, so let me explain what the commissioner does and then why we need change in City Hall to make this better and improve the services that we provide our residents. Your local commissioner, which if I'm given the opportunity, I will serve as your District 2 City Commissioner after November 7th. We worry about picking up the trash, police, fire. Those are key essential services that everybody and their lives need, and infrastructure. That's really the critical job of our commissioner and our commission in the city of Miami. And unfortunately, like maybe many of your friends and many of my friends were frustrated by the lack of the efficiency, paying more taxes and seeing less results, or very disappointing results. Commission shouldn't just be about getting improvements and entitlements. We are here to serve the public, and that starts from picking up the trash, covering the potholes, and on top of that, making sure that we have our infrastructure projects. For example, the area that you and I live, which is the Brickell, highly dense, we are in one of the areas that we've had so many projects that haven't gone forward because there's been no leadership. And I'm referring to the Brickell Key Bridge. I'm referring to the Brickell Bay Drive seawall, the crosswalks. There's just a number of projects that I'm aware, many others that remain on the books, but no action taken. And I still could not understand why is that Brickell has such a low police presence, and we continue to have issues late at night when we have all this traffic coming in and all these people that are essentially vandalizing our streets, and we just are in need of more police presence with status quo. And I think that someone that it has a legal background, and in addition to that, is able to have worked at City Hall, knows what the department is that you need to call for support, and that needs to be improved. You need somebody that on day one can improve this without getting the training wheels or without having to spend a year or two understanding how the system works. I don't need any of that. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to jump in when I'm given that opportunity.
Right. It's very important that you're talking about everything that is happening, in our neighborhood. And, in Brickell Bay Drive, there's so many potholes. Actually, the other day that I went through a pothole and it cost me a lot of money to change the tire. But our streets are really bad. City works or public works is I don't think they're doing their job. I don't think the leadership for the district is there. When Ken Russell was the commissioner, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and then he run away from the seat to seek a higher employment or higher pay, and then he left us with a voice. He didn't do anything. So today, Sabina Cobo, which is the commissioner that has been there for 7 months, she hasn't done anything about potholes, about police presence, not only in Brickell, where we live, but also in here in Edgewater, in Midtown. There's so many, there's a lot of crime that is happening. I remember when Judge Silver was running for the same seat, he had a great plan about the police, about bringing more police to the force, more members of the police, bringing more police officers to be on call at midnight. After everything goes crazy in Brickell and in downtown, and nobody has done anything regarding that. So it's very important that people get the sense of supporting you. I'm throwing my full support to you because I know you are a great lawyer, but also a good entrepreneur. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about what's happening in City Hall. All the scandals that are going through that City Hall, and it's very sad that City of Miami, because we're not talking about Hialeah, we're not talking about Miami Lakes, we're not talking about Miami Beach, nor Miami. We're talking about City of Miami. The modus operandi of every single individual, and I have dear friends of mine that are, the acting politicians in City of Miami, everything that is happening in City of Miami as far as criminal activity, fraud, investigations, going from the lawyer of the city to the mayor to now what happened with Alex de la Portilla. Now, the new commissioner also, I guess, getting in bed with a developer, with Ali Morris' family. So what's happening with this community? What's happening in City Hall? Eddy, you are a lawyer, and everything that you do and you say is actionable. Everything that you have done through your years as a lawyer has made you realize that you're not supposed to get in trouble. We're very contemporary, so you're a guy that has to walk a really thin line to do what you're supposed to do in order for you not to lose your license. What's happening with the smartest people that we have in City of Miami that are getting in trouble and then bringing so much scandals to this district and to City of Miami?
Look, the reality is that City Hall no longer belongs to the residents. It is bought and purchased by developers that are seeking increases in density and bonus. And the reality is that when you have this limitation, then the common resident that is seeking those type of services that you mentioned, and I've mentioned and I've seen, from potholes to security to fire, all of those areas are neglected because the push is only to get more development. We have to stand up and say, enough is enough. We have to take back City Hall. City Hall belongs to us, the residents. We can no longer tolerate elected officials attacking our residents when they come to address us in public comment. I've never seen a government body attack a resident that is exercising their First Amendment right to come and speak. And unfortunately, what you see and what you hear knocking in the many households that I'm taking is there is hopefully something that we can overcome, but there's a desire to, what can I do if this is what we have? They're giving up, but there is a hope. there's a desire. If you vote for someone like myself that wants to do what's right and has, as we point out, a pretty good, or if not almost perfect track record at improving items, that's what we must do. And we need to elect people that will no longer bow to the special interests and will say no to those type of interests, because what we care about is what the residents care and improving our infrastructure. It's not simply about rubber stamping more projects and more projects. It's about caring about our community, and that is actually enforcing the laws. So we have in the Grove the protection of our tree canopy. In downtown, more police presence, less homeless, and not selling out our parks, which I've written about this issue extensively, and also creating a tunnel where we can actually have our infrastructure projects that do take a long time, but they cannot just be on planning and never to see the day of light. We need to get those projects moving forward, because the existence of our city depends on those infrastructure projects, and we must do that, and we must do that. That's really should be our focus. So yeah, City Hall has collapsed, and the last episode that we just saw is the latest example of the City Hall and our elected officials' complete failure. We must do better. And I'll tell you this, and to your audience and to my neighbors, the real heartburn, the real problem is that by having what we've seen is not only the bribery, the alleged bribery, and everything else, and including the money laundering, is that we've had a community and a culture of the city of Miami no longer serving our residents, now being able to hire directors, be able to focus on our goal and our mission. It's been doing all of this other stuff as opposed to actually taking care of business. And taking care of business means let's improve that bridge, let's improve that seawall, let's cover that pothole, let's pick up our trash, and let's do it in a way. Government should not be making the news. We should be able to rely on our government and should not be bombastic. We should be able to do it in an efficient and a calm way, because that's what government is about, not about what we've seen in the last few years. It's a disappointment, and that's why I'm running, and we need to change that immediately.
We're going to talk about the park, this issue with the park, the Ale Morris Park, that is so interesting, and you brought it up to me about a month and a half ago. But let's talk about real estate. You have a real estate background. You're an attorney for for powerful people that actually you litigate on real estate. You know about real estate. You know about city permits. Real estate is part of us. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been a real estate guy for almost 23 years, and both flipping and doing Airbnb and acquisitions and all that. And we love real estate. Real estate is part of our of our core here in Miami, but there's nowhere to build anymore in city of Miami. There's nowhere to give. It's impossible to give today a developer the sweet deals that everybody has gotten for the last 10 years, and they still get it. The fact that there's so many buildings that are being erected today in Brickell and downtown, we don't have the sustainability, we don't have the infrastructure to take care of all of that, but then we're still building without any saying, without any, they're not asking nobody, the residents or nobody, the commissioners, they're just getting in bed with the developers, and which is, a little bit hypocritical of me, because I could sell any of these units today and make money. But at the end of the day, we have to stop, and we have to do it with the sense of let's ask the residents, and let's not put our future in jeopardy. The fact that you're somebody that is running, you're the politician. I'm not private citizen, but the fact that the mayor has been investigated for giving a sweet deal to a developer, or the lawyer of the city bought a property through her husband, and so many things that has to do with getting in bed with developers and with real estate, that is very sad. Eddie, will you promise not to do that if you become a commissioner?
100%.
Now let's talk about this park, because that's another real estate issue. So there's a park across from Flatiron that is called the Ale Morris Park, that has been closed for 3 years. I remember when when Hugo was erecting the building Flatiron back like what 7 years ago. The park was open. You know, I remember people, you know, walking around and all that. That park was given to the city by the Alan Morris family. Then Sabina Cobo, out of nowhere, you know, she didn't worry about the homeless. She didn't worry about the crime in city of Miami. She didn't worry about her priority was not taxes. Her priority was not help Coconut Grove, the streets. None of that. Her priority was to open this park, and then in 12 months, apparently, that park is gonna go back to Alan Morris because Sabina Cobo approved it and because she's pushing for their interests. Am I correct on this, council? Or am I making this
No,
this shit up in reality? Am I making this up?
no, you're 100% right. On May 11th, there was a resolution that was put forward by the commissioner to essentially tell the city, stop the appeal process to keep this as a park. Abandon the legal process so we being the city of Miami and our residents can keep this as a park. And on top of that, which adds injury to insult or insult to injury, is that it was allowed to be rezoned from civic space to T648. What do I mean by that? What used to be a park will no longer be a park, and it was supported by this resolution to eliminate this green space. And on top of that, there was later a pocket item. That's something that you do that is not on the printed agenda, that is done in a semi-hidden way to essentially say, oh, by the way, we're also going to have the city be the applicant to submit the application for the rezoning. So what does that mean? They don't pay the fee, they get in front of the line, and they have to be heard at the Planning and Zoning Board in the November meeting. I have, for those that know, I'll repeat it, and for those who do not know, it is typically the owner of the property that submits the application. So I am puzzled, to say the least. How is it that we give back the park, meaning the land, back to the developer? We allow a rezoning, and then we don't even tell the owner now of the property to apply. Oh, no. The city is going to pay the filing fee, is going to submit the application. So that's a windfall to the developer as well, on top of everything that we're giving him, and we still don't see what iota of benefit to the public. It is a terrible piece of legislation that was introduced and unfortunately passed that makes no sense. We've always run on supporting green space and fighting for green space. How dare you put something on the agenda that abandons in very clear terms that particular public space? There is no defense to that action. And whenever I've attempted to address this issue publicly, she has never come forward on that topic. She's always sent a lobbyist for the family to come and address this topic, which I'm happy to debate and I'm happy to have that conversation. But it's not right.
With their lawyer. You deal with their lawyer, and pretty much the lawyer will call you a liar, being a lawyer and saying that you were not correct when all the facts are there. So that's
Correct.
shout out for their lawyer, because I heard that interview and the guy's totally blind. And if he's gonna bet his license on that you ask him if in 12 months he can guarantee that park is gonna steal for the city, he's gonna bet his license on that, then he's gonna lose it in 12 months.
And if you follow the bouncing ball, when they were discussing this at commission, meaning this so-called deal, there's no deal, they're taking everything, we're not getting anything. It was 3 to 4 months that the park will quote unquote remain a park.
Yeah.
When I brought attention to this issue and I started hammering on this topic, at that point, it was when they said, well, it's 6 months, and then it was 12 months, and then maybe it's 18 months. So it was because of our advocacy and bringing light to this issue is that they started, we essentially have negotiated for her and the commission that they should have done it. And that's why I had a personal appearance on the agenda, because I wanted to address this issue. And I'm asking for records on all of these topics because it's unbelievable that you're exactly right, that without addressing everything else that we have, and there are many issues, the first item of business is a resolution to tell the city, stop the appeal because I no longer want to protect this park.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I don't support it, and I've always spoken against it, and I will never do anything like this.
I'm talking about the easy fishy deals in City Hall. This sounds to me like a deal that family. I actually know one of them, one of the members of that family. I'm pretty sure that they made a deal with Ken Russell, or I'm pretty sure they did a deal with Sabina Cobo. I'm pretty sure they did a deal until at the moment that she arrived to that office, she gave them that deal, and that's very sad. Eddy, we have now we're gonna go with the radio in Spanish. I just wanted to have this conversation with you here in my Zoom, but now let's go to the other link that they sent us. All right, brother?
Yes, sir.
All right.